Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to come on tonight because I wanted to make two announcements. One, later this evening, I will be live streaming along with the final 2 hours leading up to midnight for Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. So we will be counting down along with Ryan Seacrest live in real time this evening. So stay tuned for that. But on a personal note, I wanted to take a few minutes to reflect on what this year has really meant. Not only for me as an individual, but also for me as a personality. Getting back online and starting this channel for you guys. You know, I joined YouTube for the first time in 2016. Back then, I was using the moniker King James, and I called my show The King's Castle, along with my personal assistant at the time as my co-host. But I knew that I, as a personality and as an individual, had a lot of growing to do, which is why when my co-host stepped away from me, my personal assistant, I decided to take a break. A rather lengthier break than I thought I would have to, but a break nonetheless. During that time, we've seen a lot of changes. He's now married, he's now a dad, and we've lived through a global pandemic, and we've adjusted to socializing from a distance over the last 5 years. This year, I did many things that I thought I personally would never do. One of them being that I drove across the country from my home state all the way to Las Vegas over a period of a week for WrestleMania in Vegas for 2 days. And I drove back the same way. That was probably the most spectacular trip I've ever been on and probably will ever take in my entire life. But who knows? Anything can happen. But during that time, I had an opportunity to reflect a lot on myself. And I realized that over the course of my time to this point, including the last few months since I've been doing this, I've made a lot of mistakes. Not only as a personality, but as an individual. The reason I'm saying this is because we all make mistakes in life. Some of them personally, some of them professionally. But the important thing to remember is, regardless of what happens day to day, we're always learning from each other and growing from experience. Sometimes you need to allow yourself the chance to take a step backwards and focus on you. I did that several years ago, which was why I finally stepped away from my volunteer job. But this year, one of my goals is to get back into the workforce in some capacity. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but we'll see. But the important thing is you set goals for yourself, and if you're able to achieve them, great. If you stumble along the way, that's fine. But the important thing is you cannot, whatever goal you want to achieve, you got to show a lot of heart, and you can't do it alone. It's important to have a team behind you. I'm lucky that I do have a very solid team behind me that keeps me on track physically and mentally. What many of you don't know is that I'm out on average about 4 or 5 times a week doing fitness when I'm not doing this. So therefore, I try to keep myself in peak physical condition the best I can despite my physical handicap. So therefore, my message to you guys this year as we prepare to close the books on 2025 is, if you need to take a break, fine. But you should always reach out and ask for help if you need it. And even something as simple as asking someone to coach you along while you're training for a big physical feat. Or just simply being there to listen if someone else is in need. I mean, you hear it every day on The Price is Right. Drew Carey always says, take care of yourself, especially your mental health. Well, that's true. Everybody has stumbles once in a while. But the important thing is that we learn from those stumbles and we try not to make mistakes again. That's something I've had to work on tremendously over the past few months, which is why I decided to be open when I finally decided to take medication for OCD. The fact is, we're still working on it, and I'm still working on myself. But we're going to get through this together. We made it through 2025, and 2026, I'm sure, is going to be an even more banger of a year. So let's just wait and see what happens. In the meantime, remember, as I always say, love one another, and I will see you guys later tonight as we prepare to welcome in 2026.